Hey guys, this week before I get into the actual assignment, I just want to take a look at the week at a glance calendar here and talk about one specific change that's going to be really important moving forward. So, previously, after class, each week that we've had so far, you saw something that said add a one-liner or two. And I've adjusted that a little bit so that it includes our word collecting. So I'm going to ask you to collect 3 words that are new to you each week and add them to your one-stop reading shop, that personal word collecting tab. I'm going to ask you to make one new one-liner each week. So choosing from those words you've collected, you'll create a new one-liner. Okay, and what I've done to keep everybody on track here is make a little goal section up here in the top right corner. So after checking in with several classes and a variety of different students, it seems like this is right around where we are after the first few weeks of school. So you should now have 4 total one-liners after the completion of this week, okay? So tantalizing was given to everybody. Then each class did a sample word from the boy who loved words. And then last week in class, we also worked on you creating your first independent one-liner. And then you left class and you had the assignment of adding another one-liner, which brings you to a total of 4. So we're going to go with 4 total one-liners and 6 collected words. If you have a little bit of catching up to do on that this week is the perfect time to get that done because this is where your numbers should be by the following Wednesday, okay? And every week the number of words collected is going to go up by 3, the number of one-liners is going to go up by 2 because we will generally complete 1 in class and then you will generally complete 1 on your own outside of class. So for those of you that are really ready to expand your vocabulary and you have the grit and the persistence to make goals that are higher than that, I fully support you and encourage you in doing that. Your vocabulary can increase at an exponential rate, depending on how many words you collect and one-liners that you create this year. So I encourage those people who have the persistence and that are ready to work diligently on growing their vocabularies to do so. And you may even hear me use some words, hint, hint, that you would be able to collect as personal words and turn those into one-liners. Okay, so you should be in your course in Schoology going into the Unit 1 folder, and we are looking for 1.4. Right now they are unpublished, so here you see them, A, B, and C. Okay, for each of these tasks, you are going to be reading an article, annotating the article, and then ultimately 1.4C provides you with an additional article and a discussion board that ties back to all 3 articles. So you're going to be reading a total of 3 articles, annotating a total of 3, culminating with this discussion board. Let's take a look at 1.4. And so the title of this article is Kids Were Being Rude to Alexa. So Amazon updated it. This is going to take you into News ELA when you click on the article. If it prompts you to sign in, you can definitely use your Park Hill account, Google account to do that. You should not need a class code, even if it asks you for one. You should be able to bypass that. You may even be able to read a few articles for free without signing in if you haven't used News ELA in a while. So one of the things that is mentioned in the assignment, one of the notes here, is that on 1.2, which was the Why Annotate assignment, the final question on there asked you what your preferred method was for annotating. Given that a lot more of what we're doing this year is digital, you kind of have to think about that. So I'm going to show you this copy and paste the text onto a Google Doc method. That is definitely one of my easiest go-to methods. It does take a few steps to get it copied and pasted. And And so what I'm going to do is, oh gosh, that's in the way a little bit, but I am going to copy and paste the text. If there's a lot of advertisements in what you're reading, it can get a little bit overcrowded, but if you mostly just have text or you can bypass those advertisements, that's fine. So you're going to copy your text. I like Control C for copy. You're going to go into your Google Drive and you are going to create a document, a brand new document. Okay, I've got all kinds of stuff in there. Let me get back into my actual Google Drive. Make sure that you're putting it into the folder where you want it to be. So I'm just going to have this be a Google Doc. I would file this into my reading folder in my Google Drive, keeping everything nice and neat and organized. You guys might be noticing how slow my Wi-Fi connection is right now. I'm definitely feeling it. So when I get onto this document, I should be able to paste. And I just did that. Okay, so I now have the text of the article here. You better believe that I am going to title it. And of course that grabbed something other than the title. Okay. This is an example of an article where not every word in the article is capitalized, not even the most important words. And sometimes we see that, although commonly we think about capitalizing titles, so Amazon updated it. Now, as I get ready to annotate, keep in mind you have an annotation bookmark, either a paper copy if I've seen you face to face, or that digital copy available in your course. So when I get ready to annotate, I'm going to use the highlighting features and I'm going to use the commenting features. And so one of the things that I notice first here, I'm going to make a connection here to the positive reinforcement, and I'm just going to go ahead and comment here. And I have a personal connection. If I'm using those codes, I might say text to self connection. And I would say we strive to use positive reinforcement at school too. So that's my personal connection, spending a lot of time teaching and with students in the school environment. And so I can go ahead and work my way through the article by making comments. If there's something in particular that I wanted to highlight, maybe if I find a word that is new to me. So for example, this word, I don't know if commanding would be the best word to collect. Let me see if I can find another one. Oh, here's a good one. This would be an awesome word to collect. So maybe I choose yellow for most of my vocabulary stuff. So I'm going to highlight my words in yellow. They debuted 5 years ago on Amazon's kid-friendly Fire tablets. Okay, if they debuted, I'm going to take a guess. My guess at the meaning is that debuted might mean started or began, maybe. So I might just put a little note there to remind me that that's a vocabulary personal word collecting that I've noted. And I can work my way through the Google Doc, making comments and highlighting, and that will take care of my annotations. So taking a look back here at the assignment, that's just one idea for annotating. You could find a digital tool, maybe an extension that works for you. If you have access to a printer, you are welcome to print, do your annotations by hand on paper, and then make sure that you can take a pretty clear picture of those to be submitted digitally. If you have another idea for annotating, I'm good with that. just make sure that you will be able to show me your annotations in class, okay? And in some cases, you will need to be able to submit them digitally. So taking a picture of anything done on paper is always recommended. Okay, 1.4b is very similar, but your article is a little bit different. And you're still going to find a way to annotate and make sure that your annotations can be submitted digitally if needed. Virtual students, you will be doing a little bit more digital submission, obviously, than just showing me in class. And then when you move on to 1.4c, you now see 3 articles linked, and the directions tell you to read and annotate all of the articles, okay, 2 of which you would have already taken care of leading up to this. And let's see, kids are the stars of their parents' social media should be the final article that you need to read. This little comment here about Newsela should be up next to this article because that one will also take you to Newsela. And you are then going to use all of your connections and annotations from those 3 articles to write your comment on this discussion board and make sure that you are coming back and doing those 2 replies to 2 people. And you have some options for replies here. You can expand upon somebody's thinking, tell more about something that was already stated. If you have a disagreement, you can do that respectfully and explain why. And you can also keep the discussion moving by asking questions. And that's a great way to stay engaged with your classmates as well.